The new car market is resetting, folks. We have the latest and greatest data that shows that new car prices, they are falling off a cliff for nearly every single brand. Shall we jump right in?
I see no reason not to.
Our team crunched the numbers for most of the automakers from December of 2023, their average transaction price for new cars, to March of 2024, the month that we're currently in at the time we're filming this video. Dad, there are two brands who have seen their average transaction prices actually increase from December of 2023 to March of 2024. That would be Toyota. Their average transaction price is up about 2.5%, and Subaru, their average transaction price is up about 0.5%.
Yes.
All of the other brands we analyzed, which you can see on the screen, all of their prices have gone down, and not just by a little. Let's start with Dodge. Dad, in 90 days, Dodge transaction prices have fallen more than 12%. That's absurd.
That is quite the juxtaposition on pricing over a 90-day period of time. And obviously what that truly indicates is that where Dodge cars were price-wise in December was, well, stupidly high. And now they're trying to get back to a transaction price that will actually draw customers into their showrooms again. But to lose almost 13% in 90 days in your average transaction price, that's an incredibly large drop in values.
Yeah, definitely. And let's show some more, proof to this narrative, Dad. This is an email I got from one of the CarEdge dealer networks, a Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer. It says, Zach, I just updated pricing with Stellantis, the parent company of Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and got super, super aggressive. We will not be able to discount any further for your customers and cannot swap cars in for these prices. This is to clear out our inventory and will be thousands below market value. Please let your team know the plan. Swaps will be at invoice pricing if a customer needs a specific vehicle. So, Dad, Dodge prices have gone down 12.5% in the past 90 days. And at the same time, dealers are still sending me emails like this saying, hey, we just lowered prices even more. That special CarEdge price we had negotiated, can't even honor that because I just lowballed that price to go even lower.
Yeah, the cheap price that we had for CarEdge just got cheaper, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that indicates to folks out there that there are some deals to be had. Now, we understand, because we read the comments, we understand that people go, well, we haven't seen anything. Well, statistically speaking, we can prove to you that the average transaction prices have gone down. And when people say, well, we haven't seen a decline in prices, I think what they're really saying, if I can try and interpret it, is that the prices haven't gone low enough just yet. So I think that's what people are saying when they go, haven't seen any changes where I live. Yes, the changes are occurring even where you live. It's just that they're still not big enough to encourage you to perhaps get back into the market for a car.
Chevrolet prices down about 9% over the past 90 days. Again, that's just an absurd amount of depreciation, but savings, really just savings for customers. Cadillac prices down nearly 8% over the last 90 days. Ford prices. Ford, we know, the F-150, it's one of the most in-stock 2023 new cars out there right now. It is the most in-stock new 2023. They have an oversupply of last year's model year, and Ford has actually stopped shipments of some of their 2024s, especially the F-150 Lightnings, to dealers. No wonder we see average transaction prices down 6.5%, 7%, 8%. They have to go down. They don't have a choice.
It is the laws of supply and demand rearing their ugly head and working again. Supply is high, demand has diminished. So the only way you can artificially create demand again is to drop your pricing. And we are seeing that. And in some cases, the drops just aren't significant enough to get to create that artificial demand again. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see further drops in the transaction prices of most of these vehicles moving forward.
I want to name three more and then pause for a few moments. GMC also down about 7% in average transaction price. Jeep down about 6.5% from their average transaction price. And Ram prices are down nearly 6%. And again, this is over the past 90 days. You notice a trend here with these these brands that we've mentioned thus far?
Yeah, they're all brands with a high market day supply of vehicles.
They're all domestics too, Dad.
Yes.
We haven't had a single non-domestic brand up until this point. And then the first one on this list is Hyundai. Hyundai prices have come down almost 6% in the past 90 days. And Hyundai is one of the brands that got most egregious with their price increases over the past 5 years. Hyundai MSRPs went up almost 50%. We track car price inflation back on CarEdge.com. So it took, 7, 8 brands before we finally got to a non-domestic. What does that say? That says that the domestic automakers got greedy. Now their dealers have a surplus of inventory and they're having to spend a ton of money both on incentives and dealers obviously digging into their own pockets, taking deeper losses on these domestic vehicles.
It might indicate that the domestic manufacturers are less in touch with what customers want than many of your Asian and imported brands.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, some of the brands that have seen their price decreases be a little more muted, that would be Genesis, which you can see has about a 2% decline in price. Acura, 2%. Mazda only down about 3%. We know Mazda has a big supply nationwide, so maybe we should expect to see more pressure there. Infiniti, BMW, Kia, Honda, Lincoln, Audi, Buick, Mercedes-Benz. Those are the brands that have seen their prices go down, but not nearly as much. And then Chrysler is where you start to get over the 5% mark. These are all your brands: Chrysler, Jaguar, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Hyundai, and then all the domestics we mentioned before. Those are all the brands where we're seeing the biggest price declines. And I just want to throw it out there. Is there any indication that this is going to change, I don't know, over the next 90 days? Like, shouldn't we expect to continue to see downward pressure on new car prices?
I would think that we will continue to see average transaction prices declining because, well, interest rates are going to remain high. The Fed last week said that they're not going to cut rates anytime soon, which would have been the car industry's preference. They wanted them to cut the rates, but they didn't. So because of that, I think average transaction prices continue their downward spiral. And there should be, moving forward, even some better deals as we get into late spring, early summer.
Go watch our spring new and used car market update. We just posted that video, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago. So go watch that. That gives you an overview of our synopsis of the new car market, which we think it's a good time to be a new car buyer. Again, remember, end of month, end of quarter. If you're watching this video before the end of the quarter, go jump on it. End of quarter is a great time to be negotiating for a car deal, and obviously we'll help you out as best we can back at CarEdge.com. Thanks for running through the numbers, Pops.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, handsome.
CarEdge.com, all sorts of free resources back there, Dad. Like what?
Oh, I don't know. What's your car going to depreciate over time? How much is your insurance going to be? What should you expect to pay for fuel? It's all there. All that information in one place.